Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the um, April 2nd, 1983 edition of the program. Little interesting tidbits here as we continue to move forward, including but not limited to the fact that, in fact, um, Roddy Piper kind of being given a, for lack of a better term, real babyface role as he tries to produce, I guess, inspiration and sympathy in people for the Easter Seals needs for kids around that time of year, and just an interesting promo there as we kind of keep things going. And Piper basically trying to get people to donate, Piper trying to get people to be conscientious, whatever have you. Just an interesting thing there. Roddy Piper really trying to acquaint Easter and Christmas, different times of year, Mr. Piper. But anyway, Piper goes into a match here, continuing to be a pretty aggressive babyface at the time. It faces off with Rick Harris, back suplex, knee lifts, and a quick victory for Roddy Piper wearing the green tights. Greg Valentine claims that he has in fact beaten Ric Flair, but no one wants to acknowledge it. Also claims that Flair, as the world champion, owes him. Obviously, this is not something that most people buy, including the fans at ringside. However, he also equates it to not having many friends, including the betrayal of one Roddy Piper. So they're kind of already in the beginning of April teasing the idea that Piper and Flair could go at it. The Kendo Stick Challenge, Bill White against Kabuki, manages here. Kabuki again offering $100 on, well, actually, more accurately, the nature of Gary Hart offering. The anyone that can defeat Kabuki in the not hitting him anywhere but the wrists and gloved area gets $100. That obviously doesn't happen. Post match, Gary Hart gets into it with Jimmy Valiant. Valiant claiming he can not only hit Kabuki one time, he can hit him 50 times. Kabuki covered with green mist and a glove, and Kabuki using the nature of things. A bloodied and bandaged Joe Ledoux basically saying that he has been tired of the assaults there, and we see the layout by Dick Slater and Humberdick earlier from the previous week. Also, Ric Flair in a squash match from Florida with a previously really unnamed individual. Anyway, Flair with some rollovers, abdominal stretches, tries to get the man laid out. Flair from Florida just filling time, but at the same time, Ric Flair, as your world champion in '83, a pretty big deal. And Flair head scissors, other basic things. Flair can make even a squash match, though, really a big deal. Flair, of course, wins the Florida squash with a figure four leg lock. Joe Ledoux promising to eliminate Humperdinck and anyone associated with Oliver Humperdinck from the area, and pretty consistent there. Six-man tag team match, which just seems to be to fill time as Valiant, Rick McGraw, and Joe Ledoux versus Ken Tims, Bill Alexander, and Masafuchi. Not exactly your match of the day. Fucci and McGraw, or Bugsy McGraw rather, not Rick McGraw. Bugsy McGraw comes in. McGraw and Ledoux both manage to use power. Ledoux with the backbreaker, and Valiant getting the victory with the elbow drop. And again, cage match promo for Slaughter and Kernoodle against Youngblood and Steamboat coming up. Around the House show tour they're not really talking about, where Davison Weaver versus Funkin' Roberts. Funkin' Roberts, of course, a new tag team under the tutelage of Paul Jones. Jake Roberts takes a couple of bumps down pretty quickly. Doesn't exactly get everything he wants on it, but still the managing of Dory Funk Jr., your Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Champion, taking some arm drags and other basic maneuvers, getting things under his control in quick order. Jake Roberts, though, takes the majority of the match as Funk comes in only when some European uppercuts and more technical style is needed. Funk as your Mid-Atlantic champion, though, and Booker for the time. Imagine that. Booker putting himself in that position. Johnny Weaver, who by the end of the year is, I think, done with wrestling primarily in ring, although not as a broadcaster over the next couple of years. Anyway, Jake Roberts manages to hit the DDT and getting the victory for his team. Sweet Brown Sugar and Mike Rotundo are talking about future tag team encounters. And Rotundo is basically put over as bland by his tag partner, but formidable as a wrestler anyway. Then we go to Red Dog Lane and Bill White versus Rotundo and Sweet Brown Sugar. Rotundo, you're getting your former television champion, and they were getting him ready for Flair. Never quite catches on with the voice that he needs. Sweet Brown Sugar, though, manages to slam on White. Lane comes in, takes a few drop kicks and head scissors along the way. Sugar manages to stay in control for the majority, always going back to a more collegiate style with Mike Rotundo, and ultimately getting to where he'd like to get to there. And we continue a bit more brawling, but Sugar and Rotundo come out there. Then they go to a highlight package of Andre the Giant. Andre coming in with the gang in the months, probably April, May, sometime in the spring, but Andre squashing an enhancement talent on WWF TV at the time. And we will close on that note. We'll be back with more right after this.